Hello and welcome back to the Rusted Brush. This is part 8 in my ongoing series, painting the uniforms of the Empire provinces. Each episode focuses on a different province of the Empire. I'll go over a bit of the province's history and heraldry, before moving on to building and painting a model inspired by that region. Today we're going to be looking at one of the lost provinces of the Empire, Solland. Solland was once a wealthy and influential province located in the Southern Empire, along the River Sol and nearby the borders of Wizenland and Averland. Unlike many of the other more rugged northern provinces, Solland was known for its fertile lands, mines, and proud noble families. The capital of Solland was Theoldworld, a city that represented the province's wealth and importance. For many years, Solland was considered one of the richer provinces of the empire, with its major exports being agricultural produce, tin, copper, and gold. However, Solland's history is defined by its tragic downfall during the Greenskin invasion of Gorbad Ironclaw. The province was devastated by the invading armies of the Orc war boss, Gorbad Ironclaw, with its lands ravaged and its ruler, Eldred, the last Elector Count of Solland, slain in battle. The famous Solland runefang, a symbol of the province's authority, was lost during this battle and later became a reminder of Solland's fallen glory. After its destruction, the remnants of Solland was absorbed into the neighboring provinces of Wizenland and Averland. While Solland no longer exists as an independent province, its people still exist in remnants. Some of their descendants, stubbornly refusing to accept the annexation of Solland, use the name Sudenland when speaking about the territories of their ancestral homeland. The main gods of worship in Solland were Rhea and Sol, the god of sun. Solland's traditional colors are yellow, white, and black, creating a bold and striking appearance on the battlefield. Their heraldry often features a yellow sun with either a face or skull on a black background. Solland's military consisted of mostly light infantry, but they could call upon mercenaries like the Tilean light cavalry, who they always long employed, and dwarf contingents from the nearby dwarven holds. Now let's move on to building the model. For this Solland soldier, I used the body and legs from the Empire Greatsword kit. I wanted to use the legs with the tasset with a sun on it specifically for this. For the arms, I'm using an arm with a sword from the archery kit, and the other one is from the Empire Militia kit. I wanted him to feel a bit worn and like a veteran who's been fighting orcs, so his outfit isn't supposed to be fully matching, but I also don't want him to seem too rugged also. The helmet is from the Wargames Atlantic Renaissance Cavalry kit. The canteen and sheath are from the older Empire Troop kit, and his shield on his back are from the current Empire Troop kit. Now for painting, I unfortunately lost all the footage of me painting this, so you'll have to bear with me while I talk over the photos of the finished model. Luckily, this model wasn't too difficult to paint, so it's probably easy to just listen to me anyways. To start with, I went with Graysir to prime the model white, as these are mostly going to be lighter colors. The painting will focus on strong contrasts, rich yellow, white cloth, and black details. I first started by undercoating all the metallic areas with Black Templar contrast paint, as I find this easier way to paint the metal colors with a dark coat underneath them. Then I painted all the yellow areas with AK Ochre. I wanted a very specific yellow that I feel this paint is perfect for. The areas I wanted to paint white, I used Holy White Speed Paint to start blocking in the color. When painting white, it's usually best to start with gray tones first and gradually build it up with lighter tones of gray. Any bit that was metal got painted with AK Natural Steel or Vallejo Arcane Gold for any gold accents I wanted. The belt and sheath I painted with Mornfang Brown. Once this was all painted, I then gave the model a thin down wash of Null Oil. I then highlighted all the yellow with AK Ochre and the leather with Mornfang Brown. I used Vallejo Uniform Gray and then Cold White to highlight any areas I wanted white. I then painted the paper on his shield with Ushapti Bone and did some freehand work with stripes, scribbles, and a sun motif on the shield with Abaddon Black. And then I painted some mud and vegetation to the base and painted up the decapitated orc head I added to the base as well. And that finishes the model off. Solland is one of the most interesting provinces to explore because it represents something different from others we've covered so far. It isn't just a uniform style, it's a story of a lost kingdom within the Empire, a reminder that these provinces have long histories filled with victories, defeats, and legends. And that's Solland, a fallen province but one that still has a lot of character and potential for a unique army project. Yellow and white can sound like harder colors to paint, but I found this very rewarding and actually pretty simple. I should mention that in current Old World lore, Solland isn't destroyed yet, but generally speaking, I'm trying to follow the timeline from 8th edition and sort of end times. Probably not end times, I shouldn't have said that, but, you know, just the 8th edition timeline, essentially. Anyways, next video I plan on making is either going to be a Beastman showcase, or another Mordheim video, or maybe Warriors of Chaos. We'll see. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.